Welcome to the Seven Crosses series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. And we're picking up on the 25th of April 1995, which is a couple of months later than I originally intended, due to the fact that we had a bit of a rough winter, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. What I want to do in this part is populate our new tourist town. But before that, a big thank you for all your comments and feedback. You guys give me so much to think about. Now, I did get a question type comment about whether unemployment will increase the crime rate when the new update drops. And I can't really confirm one way or the other, but it's something we will be looking at when the new update drops into the beta branch, because it's something that could be quite significant in managing the economy in the future. There's also another implication for high unemployment, which I hadn't thought about before, which is the possibility that if you've got lots of people sat around doing nothing, whether they're all going to go down the pub. So our alcohol dependence will increase as well. So that's something I certainly feel that we need to look at going forward. Now, the next question that I was asked was quite interesting, actually. So I was asked, what is the difference between trams and trolley buses and why are they used? And that's both in real life and in the game. So I'm going to start with real life. Well, trams are effectively a light railway which is used to move large volumes of passengers around major urban centres. Now, because it is a light railway, trams suffer from, well, a couple of problems. The first one is they can't go up and down hills. And the second one is that in the past they were quite noisy because short lengths of tracks were joined with fish plates, which then effectively caused the clunking noise that you hear of trams. But that's a problem that's been solved by the fact that they now tend to use welded track. And of course, the biggest problem with trams is the sheer cost of the laying in the track and the overhead cables in a major city. Now, trolley buses are often used in more compact towns and cities where you don't have the kind of fairly wide open type through roads like this, which is quite characteristic in the UK, actually. And this is one of the reasons why London has never had trams and trolley buses, and they went underground very early because the old medieval layout did not lend itself to any form of like tram network, which if you compare that with many Eastern European countries where they often have wide boulevards and the cities are laid out slightly more grid-like, which does lend itself to actually a tram layout. Now, the advantage of trolley buses is simply the fact that they are quiet. In fact, in the 1930s, they were often called the Whispering Death because they were so quiet that people would not look out for them coming down the road, and quite a few people stepped out in front of them. Building the infrastructure was a lot cheaper, and more importantly, they could go up and down hills. On a personal note, I'm a little bit sad that trams and trolley buses actually went out of use in the UK due to pressure from the fossil fuel industry and, of course, the growth of the car. I think in Southampton, the last trams ran in the late 1940s, and I think the last trolley buses in Portsmouth finished in the early 1960s. Of course, now with the Green Revolution, they're actually making a comeback. That now kind of leads a bit into the nature of trams and trolley buses in the game. And in many ways, the reasons are still very much the same, because the way I look at it is trolley buses are really the trams in this game, because until we've got roads that actually incorporate tram tracks, you can't really call the tram networks that you can build at the moment as really being part of moving people around a large town, because effectively what you've got to do is what I did in the last part over in Stilton. You actually have to lay a tram track around the outside to a proper station. But hopefully sometime in the future the devs will actually give us that option with a road with a tram track in it, because if I kind of come in like this, you'll see that this is what it could look like, is actually have either the tram sharing the road with other vehicles, or possibly like what you could have here is if you had a tram road with trams in the center with a road carriageway each side, you could actually have a bit of a boulevard type road running through the center of a town. Now, the downside is that if the devs give us that road and we tend to use it, you're going to have to plan your layouts a bit more carefully so that you don't get trucks going through the center of town like this one is at the moment, because that would be a potential problem. I think in game-wise, trolley buses are pretty effective, like used in this context, and as I said, for moving people around a an urban area. But of course, there is a new innovation that's happening now, which is off-wire trolley buses and trucks. And then the way this works, I think West Germany's well in the pioneering for this, is that they're putting overhead cables over main roads, so lorries can connect to it. And then what they do is when they go to do the local deliveries, they can disconnect from the overhead wires and either deliver using their battery power or conventional engines. And I think that would be quite cool to be added to the game at some time in the future. And I think that then leads into what I'm going to be is a bit speculative, and feel free to beat me up about this in the comments, because one thing I would like to see, and I'm not expecting this before the game is actually fully released, but what I would like to see after the game is fully released is the devs taking a look about extending the finish date, because currently the finish date is around, I think it's around 2015 or something like that, although you can keep playing ad infinitum. What I would like to see is maybe some more advanced tech coming in, say high-speed trains, and then possibly a trolleybus system which allows off-wire delivery. And of course, one thing I wouldn't mind seeing is actually a space program. Not that I'm expecting the game to go up into space or anything like that. It'd be really awesome if you could build a launch site, and then maybe you could earn money from actually building and launching satellites for other people. I think that'd be quite cool. And I'm pretty sure there's also something in the roadmap which refers to possibly having a military complex, so we'll be able to sell weapons to other countries as well. That could be quite, So I think that might extend the range of the game and make it a little bit more interesting. But as I say, I'm not expecting that prior to the full release of the game. Another comment I got was to do with about upgrading these roads here from gravel, and I do intend to do that, but what I want to do is use helicopters to do that, and at the moment my helicopters are a little bit busy, so I'm going to be quite happy just to leave the gravel roads there. But one thing I have done is I've actually got my helicopters over here completing in this bit of road, because it might actually speed up the collection of crops. And then one final point is a big thank you to Snafu for pointing out something that might slow up my jerking all over the map, which some of you guys don't like, and to be honest I don't like that much. And what he suggested is that what I should do is buildings like this, my rail construction office, which I come back to quite often, is actually leaving it up there so that I can come back to it. And I've just noticed straight away that we're a track layer down, so we're just gonna have to have a quick look at what's going on. He's laying into here. What I'm trying to do at the moment is get the connections laid into the oil delivery here and also the fuel pickup, for a reason which I'll explain in a little while. And then what are you? You're laying track into there. That's good. But where's the third one? It's going to take me right across the map, isn't it? And actually we need to get that finished. Once that's finished, we can then get one of these trains back on, laying the track into there. So let me just click over to here. That means that the missing track layer is over here, where I'm trying to electrify the line into up here. So we need the guy working on getting started on that little bit there. And what you should do is follow through up into here, because what I want to do is get all this electrified so that I can start bringing in gravel into this area, and also we can get coal deliveries, which means I can then sneak back these dumpers here. The other thing I also realized when I was checking out around here is that I don't actually have a gas station. And what I would like to do is, I think Foodville construction, I've closed it all automatically, haven't I? Right, we'll go back and hook that up again. But what I want to do is get Foodville working on that, and that. So what we're going to do is get this into here. We'll just go back and pick up that train construction office again. And we'll put him over there. In fact, I need another one as well for what we're going to be doing when we're setting up our tourist area. Oh, yep. And we need is you as well. Now, why did I start so late? Well, during the winter, I had a bit of a problem with fuel. And if any of you watched the previous video, I was talking about my distribution office here, and I said that I kept it as a reserve for fuel. And you can see here, I actually had to do that. I had to bring in fuel because what actually started to happen is that we ran out of fuel. I think it was this gas station. I can find it. Started to, whoops, don't want that. Started to run out of fuel. So what I did is I started importing fuel to as a stopgap. But the worst effect was actually in Ollerton, because all the fuel was being stolen from here, and you can see that they're still recovering from this area. This, I think it was this gas station actually ran out completely, and what that did is then had an effect on my food deliveries. And what actually happened is, I don't know if it's actually been fixed now, but we weren't getting any food in here at all. In fact, let me just give you the overlay. It'd be the easiest way to show it. You see here, the happiness is really low. In fact, well, it's slowly creeping back up again now. It dropped right down to about 70%, because what was happening is that this store ran out of food, and then we were totally dependent on this store. But of course, this store doesn't cover the whole city, so this part of the city actually started to kind of have a bit of a food crisis, and that's actually reflected in my population. You see here that the population has dropped down under 33,000, and what was happening is all my over 21s were kind of moving into here, keeping the place full, but of course they were immediately leaving. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. If we go back to December, and you get back to about the 1st of December, see those big spikes in there, and there with the escapees, and that was a really major problem with respect to keeping this area going. And of course, one thing that does happen is that if they can't get food, and this is the reason why, if you look here, it says 115 citizens did not participate in sport, 56 did not enjoy culture. And the reason is that if they can't get the food, or they got to queue up and to try, because what was happening is this one store was getting overloaded, so there was people waiting to be served. And what that did was, it meant that because they were stood there waiting to get served to get food, they weren't attending sport and culture. So what you ended up with is this area here. So it's going to take a little while for this to drop back down to normal. Luckily, my helicopters have been busy and actually built a couple of buildings here as well. If you hear any voices in the background, I'm just getting a delivery. The delivery's finished, and what I've done is I've moved over to our tourist stand. Now, the first thing I want to do is send this meat truck up to here, this distribution office, because, well, just make sure I minimize that, because what I want to do is move in. We've only got the one building here with 400, but we've got various bits of infrastructure, and what I've done is I've set this distribution office up to import the fuel, food and clothes directly from the border. I couldn't really see the point of trying to ship it all across the map, and because the consumption should be quite small. But before we move the people in, the first thing I need to do is we need to get a couple of minibuses. We're going to buy, let's get some white ones here, because what I'm going to need to do is set up a bus route from here. And we also need to turn these off as well. Let me just do, oops, that's the gas station. Where's the, you only need to pick up tourists. We don't want anything else there. And we're going to set a line up from here to here. And we'll call you touristy heat. Tourist heat. Oops, can't spell today. And then let's just save that. and we'll get you there. Turn on the line spacing and get these guys going, because we need to get the bus route running from there. Now whoops, thank you, game. And the next thing I'd like to do is, while I'm actually thinking about it, is set up a bus route that can bring, I think we need the one at the moment. We're set up a bus route from there. You're going to load and you're only going to pick up tourists. We've got one small hotel that we can, and you're going to drop off tourists there. Now, if you ever set up a tourist route to the border, don't try and use the line tool, because the line tool doesn't regard the customs post as a valid pickup for a bus route. So what you've got to do is set it up manually like this, and then if you want to add more buses in the future, you can do it. So we've now got this area kind of set up, ready to go. And just to give you a bit of an update of where things are, we've built most of the buildings. I did notice that I hadn't built a sports out here, but I built very quickly a Tudor Athletics Club here. We've also got a tiny house of culture which is nearly finished, and we've also got the Rotunda Theatre here, which is kind of an indirect form of entertainment, but I haven't got any other attractions in this area. So what we're going to do now is we're going to keep away from Ollerton, because Ollerton's got problems. What I want to do is pick up a few hundred people. Let's just see where the... Oops, don't want that. I want this. Got to find the over 21s. So we can pick them up from this area. I'm pretty sure we have plenty in Colville. Yeah, we've got 29 up there as well. What I'm looking for is about 400 people. I think Stilton is like well over the top as well. And then I think there's a few up here as well we can pull off. Maybe we can pull a few out of Ollerton as well. I don't want to go near Foodville as such. We got a few over 21s in this area, so hopefully... So if we go back over to this area here, we only need about 400 people. And maybe we'll start by putting in 1, 2, 3, about 40 in there. About another 4, 2, 3, 4, 5 out there. Leave Stilton and Colville. We're 1, 2, 3, 4 from there. And then we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from there. Ah! Finger slip there. Sorry about that, guys. What we're going to do is pump in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then we'll just top up 2, 3, 4, 5. So that gives us 400 people in here, which gets this area up and running. Once the buses arrive, we should be able to get our heating plant working. This is there. So we need our workers to get out here. I think we've got an ambulance in there. Just check the fire station. Yeah, we got the workers in here for the fire station. Now, what I do want to do is add a little bit more residency in this area. And there's a building that I haven't never built, and I do want to check it out. So if I can find residential in here, it's actually called the Small Circle Commune. I'd like to kind of possible to get on this corner here, maybe just a bit like that. I'm hoping that the footpath behind will kind of come down like that. Then we'll just get the helicopters. Oh, I won't build that. That's okay. Need a construction office. Bring in the guys from over here. I think the road crew here. Oh, he doesn't look that busy. So bring this road crew over to here. I'll just get that built. Anything else? Oh, there's a couple of footpaths there, which I think the helicopters won't build those either. And there's actually a bit of road there. So this is going to be our new tourist town. It's going to take a little while to settle down. Now the next thing I want to do is we need the alcohol here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to import the crops. Import you here. And then the brewery. Have a look. That's the microbrewery. Made a bit of a mistake here. That should have connected to that, shouldn't it? We'll have a look at that. And then you need to pick up alcohol from there. Oh, no, not unload, load. And then that needs to be delivered to here. That. Set that to 100%. And we've also got a karaoke bar here as well. We'll leave you at 50%. So the idea is that this will come in here. We've now got the refrigeration truck, so what we're going to do is import the meat from there. And we need to deliver that to the hotel building. And not... Of course, it won't deliver the meat to there, will it? Okay. I think we're... Let's tell it to deliver meat to there. And what that should do is get this working as a concept here. And hopefully our little town here will allow citizens to move in now. It's a bit risky actually. I'm not going to allow that actually. Or shall I? Yeah, I think I will, because this place won't have any secret police and won't have any courts. This is going to be our test bed for dealing with a minimal start. Because there'd be no secret police, there'd be no court, no actual ordinary police. That means that there'll be loyalty issues here as well. Just want to see. So we've now got the heating up and running. Do we have any? Don't have any tourists just yet, but that's understandable. But we've got some staff in there as well. And it's going to take a little while. So we've got our bus that's just running off the board. I'm just going to kind of to speed him up a bit. See if he will go to the border and pick up any tourists so that we can get our first tourists on the thing. So we'll just get into here. Oh, got 10 tourists. Wow. So, just come all the way back up to here. And here, drop off there. And we've now got first tourists now here. So we got our staff working in here. And what that means is that we should now start making some money from tourism. And it'll be quite interesting to see how much money we do make from tourism. But of course, that has to be tempered against the fact that at the moment we're importing all the essentials to run the town. So we're not going to treat this as a potential profit margin. You can see here that we're actually making a fair amount of cash per month, although I must admit I have been quite extravagant with my buying trucks, because I had to buy all the trucks for this area as well. So I think we got this running. Now there's something else I want to show you. This is a brand new mod. In fact, I think I've actually added it to come to monuments. What we got here is a large statue of of Mao. Now if I show you here, it actually gives a 12% boost to loyalty over 5,000 meters. And so you can see it's quite a big building, but you can see there, this is not going to be something you're going to build when you've got other things to do. You can see it's going to take 3,363 concrete, 97 gravel, 537 boards, and 735 steel. So I'm not going to build it now, but I just thought if 5 kilometers, it'd be quite a good thing to possibly build, say on the edge of this town here. Probably put it in somewhere like that and build it so that eventually it will spread the goodwill. So if you want a mega bust of Chairman Mao on the map, that's a new mod that's actually come in. Also, on a more humorous side, now I know that some people from other countries may not understand this. Someone was actually created a train mod with which could be used for an early start. I can't remember offhand when the date is, and they've actually created Thomas the Tank Engine. Now, if anyone who's not familiar with what Thomas the Tank Engine is, it comes from a children's TV program, which I think is fairly well known, and it's got a little blue train with a very happy face on the front. So if someone wants to put a light-hearted look on their game, feel free to chuck it in there. I might consider using it because it's a train that I think it's available in about 1912. So it's quite an, I mean, the train itself is actually a steamer train, so it's just something to kind of work on, guys. I just want to check my train construction officers again. Let's make, oh wow, we're down to 2. So back over here. So you're laying track into there. This guy's laying track into there. Actually, I don't want you laying track there, so I'm actually going to cancel that because there's a crossover. Where is it? There's a crossover in here, I think. Here, I need this bit of track laid. What's the bit have I got left? Actually, you're actually laying into there. That's good. What I want you to do here is, I want you to. Will I get a collision if I get him to build that bit? Apologies, guys. I don't know. I've just developed quite a bad cough in the last couple of days. I mean, I did have a bit of a cold and it went away, but then I seem to have just developed this bit of an ongoing cough, and I've got absolutely no idea where I am on the map. I think what's happened over here is that the train that was electrifying this line is actually finished. Yep, brilliant. So what we can do now is get him laying that track. Well, I've done the back curve now, so technically if he lays the power into here, and when we build these extra slots, we'll be doing really well. And then up here, I'm assuming this guy, I was expecting you to be a little bit further than that, but we'll take it. And then you can lay in this section of track and we can get this electrified. As soon as this is electrified, we'll do the necessary signals. And actually what I might do is I might lay this bit as well, and then that will mean is that we'll be able to get the aggregate train into here along with a gravel supply. I think the bringing the coal up here, I think we'll bring that up from Colville. I don't really want the train going into the pickup point here because you'd have to come in all the way through here, round this back curve to get to here. And I don't really want them to do that. And I think we still got the capacity over here to supply local heating coal, which is the main reason why I actually built this station in the first place, is to provide the heating coal. So I don't think we need the vehicle depot anymore now. I think we'll just flip back over to here and see if we're actually, things are starting to happen. We've got that there. We should have the workforce in here producing some alcohol. And what that means is the alcohol should then be starting. Oh, look at that. Great. We've got here. I have no idea what our guests think of our little place here. Looks like we're going to need some more workforce here. Food, prey, milk. I mean, there isn't much in the way of kind of entertainment here. I'm not exactly sure what I want to put in here. Maybe that's something we can take a look at from a tourism perspective. Problem is the buildings are a little bit big. I mean, we got an indoor pool, which they could get swimming, but I've got an indoor pool over here. I've built it. I'm already building this. What can we put in the sense of leisure? I don't. We got a zoo. Could put that in, but where would we put it? I mean, this would be. Maybe we can put it in about here. Because how do we get the workforce out here? Put it. If we could get it on here, this side might be a little bit better. Maybe we can get it in here if it were. There we are. We'll put a zoo in there. Get the helicopters. You can be annoying me sometimes, okay? And then we need a kind of a footpath complex through. I just don't want trains, I want footpaths. Put a footpath through there. Possibly around this corner. About there. We hook you up to about there. And you can come there. You can come there. I'm not exactly sure what causes that, but maybe it's because I'm approaching at an angle. And then we can hook you up to there like that. What we'll do is we'll get our super crew on this. You can build that. That. And that. And we'll build that link later on. Be quite nice to make a start on this hotel as well. How many people we got in here? Well, we're getting a few people, but people without service, so maybe we do need to. Yeah, I think we'll get the helicopter crews on that one as well. We can start building that up. And what we need to do is get all the way over to here. Actually, we've got both of them. Don't think this guy's overly busy at the moment. So he can give an assist through the summer. So he can work on that. I don't think the helicopter crews really need that much in the way of support. They're pretty efficient. And you can assist with that. You can build that. Anything else that maybe you can work on that one as well. I think everything else around here is okay. See what the stats are like now. See how bad this actually is. 97% happy, but that will change. Got 99% food because, of course, although this is a big area, 88% hospital. Of course, the loyalty is unknown because we don't have secure police, so there's no point setting the sliders in here because, as it says here, if workers' loyalty is unknown, or anyone is allowed to work in there. Got 0% alcohol. Well, we got alcohol here. I suppose people haven't got round to finding it. 94%. Yeah, sport is pretty good. Gloves is 90%. So just see if anybody is. Just have a quick look. A bit hard to tell. Most of the people are, because they got culture and sport, they're not particularly that interested in alcohol at the moment. Anyway, I'll just let that run. And I'm going to Skype back to Ollerton just to check them out. So just get to Ollerton because I want to make sure that Ollerton's have sorted its problems out. We'll just take a look at the top view of this. So that the happiness is back because the people have been fed, I think, now. Yeah, 99% food. So this side of the town here dropped to about 75%. It was getting a bit dire. Health-wise, health isn't particularly that good. We got 32% there. Loyalty, not too bad. We got no alcohol dependency because I haven't actually shipped any alcohol in yet. 96%. Sport is a little bit low at the moment, and clothes is good. So what's up with sport? We got an indoor pool here. There should be no reason why they can't. It says 21 citizens. What we got here? It's the heat exchanger. Cinema building. You probably need this to improve the culture a little bit. We've got an athletics club and culture there. I think what happens is when you've had a bit of a problem, it takes a little while for things to kind of come together. We really do need to move this construction office out as well. But, let me just book you over that. I don't want you that there. Just take you over that side. And we'll just go up to my kind of dump area here. Where is it? I don't. How many slots have you got left? Only got 2. You don't have any. What we call it. I think what we'll do is we're going to sell the T38 because I think you're a bit too slow now. So sell you, and I think we'll send these dumpers up. I think they'll be okay for. I mean, they're not much faster than the old other ones, but. And then what we'll have to do is just find somewhere to put the what we call it. Now, I need to remember. Actually, sorry, apologies for the jump. Is that where is the distribution office that's supplying the foods? What are you? Oh, you're the electronics guy. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one that's here. You've got trucks in there. What we're going to do is add you as pickup point here. Oh, you're already allocated. Oh, you're picking up alcohol there, and you're actually exporting it. Oh, annoying. We need to pick up the alcohol, but we don't want to export it anymore. So we're going to remove you. We're going to change you to there. Then we're going to go back over to Allerton. That explains why the covered holes are actually still in the kind of parked in the station, because they were not actually doing it. We're going to put 100% alcohol here and here. And what we should do get now is these guys should leave. We've got no alcohol. No. Obviously the alcohol train has just left. I've got a workforce issue here. This guy's off to snatch some alcohol. Of course, he's going to slow up my exports, but it won't be a problem because it won't take him long. That means we'll now have alcohol here in Ollerton once these guys are up and running. We've got booze crews here. Oh, so far, I don't think I've got a bit of any alcohol addiction problems, actually. I think if we come in to look at the overlay here, you can see it's still only 1-2%. I think that's down to the fact that we don't have any problems. We've got a little bit of a problem with sport, but it always seems to be 6 or 7 people who don't. So there's a little bit of a marginal problem to do with culture here, which we may need to look at. The other thing is I actually built a second orphanage here, but of course there's no food here, so we need to set the government loyalty here. I've forgotten all about this because I had so many other people waiting, so you've got to deliver. You can deliver everything to there. What happened is these guys should come out now. The old construction crew was a little bit too fast there. We've got children in care, but of course we've got no... There's there missing supplies for children in care, so they're not getting the care they really need. So hopefully we will start to get the deliveries in here now. Now we're getting clothes to get some food in there, and eventually what we should get is some meat in here as well, but I don't think I've got the... So we've now, so I'm hoping that that's going to kind of deal with my children's problems. Let's have a quick look at... Yeah, we're back over 1,000 now, so I think we got past the crisis. I think there's the refrigeration truck in here. I wouldn't mind another one. And then again, I think this is... Where are you? Oh no, he's on his way. I mean, I think there's small trucks here should be more than enough to keep everything supplied here, because of course the trains are bringing in lots of stuff into here. So we should have... Yeah, we've got a supply of alcohol, which the orphanage doesn't need. We shouldn't be supplying alcohol to children. And then on this side we've got clothes and food, which is coming in by train, which is pretty good. This is the power station Ollerton. I really do need to sort out the workforce here. Let's see. I mean, have we got any unemployment here? One person without a job. We don't really have any we got some a little bit of unemployment there. Some workers waiting there. And we've got a little bit of workers here. Yes, we got a tiny little bit of unemployment in this area. I'm just trying to find the route that goes to the coal power. I think at the moment we've just got... Well, we got 2 buses here. And what's the capacity on them? 35. Let's just have a look-see and see whether he's picking up a full load. I think the part of the problem is we've got too many competing. Yeah, we got too many people competing for workers here. We've got a little bit more here. I'm wondering... We're just going to have to go over the way here. I should really keep this depot open all the time, shouldn't I? I'm just going to go back to Ollerton. How is the... Yeah, well, it's only 20 workers here. I'm just wondering... I don't really need this at full power just at the moment. Well, I think what we'll do is we're by... Wow, we're running out of bus options now. 7 passengers. Actually, let me just take a quick look at... We've got no buses at all now from... Oh, well. Right, we're just going to buy you... And I'm just going to run a single bus, minibus up from here to wherever is the... I'm going to run you up to here. As I've said, it's not really essential that this coal-fired power station is, because if I show you the power overlay, is that you can see this power station, well, it's not drawing anything at the moment, but if I come over to Coalville, you see even this one up here is not being taxed. You can see it's, if I show you here, I mean it's got a stable voltage, but it's got nowhere near being drawing on them its maximum wattage. What I was actually doing was watching one of Revere's videos the other day, and he was actually talking about something I'd never even noticed, but I just want to mention it briefly. And I must admit, when he was actually talking about it, let's just get this off of here. And if I come into here, what you see down the bottom, it says max wattage circuit breaker. And he got my curiosity going because he admitted that he didn't know much about it. And what you actually do is, if you look at it where it says circuit breaker 23 megawatts, if you look on the right hand dial, I don't know if you guys can see it, but where it says wattage, it says maximum wattage 23.34. And I must admit, I've always looked at that and thought, what does that actually mean? And what that actually does mean is that this power station can only supply a maximum of 23.4 megawatts of continuous power, which is different from megawatt hours. And I think this is something that you do need to be aware of when you're setting power stations up, because the output of this power station is actually 1400 megawatt hours. But to find out what the actual demand is, you've got to divide by 60. But the actual circuit breaker wattage of this power station is 23 megawatts. So this comes down to like when you're calculating the power cables going out, because say for example you've got this power station hooked to a single 18 megawatt power line, which is this one over here. This supplies 18 megawatts. The maximum output capacity from here is 23 megawatts. So even if you build an 18 megawatt power line, this power station can't work at maximum capacity on a single line, because this one has actually got, I think it's got 2 lines. Yeah, it's got 2 lines going out. This has got a potential for overload. For example, so say you had 2 18 megawatt lines hooked to here, that means that there's a potential draw of 36 megawatts, but the circuit breaker is 23. So if you had 2 overloaded lines coming out of a single power station, what will happen is that the actual power station itself could have a bit of an overload problem. So I think that's quite fascinating, and I think this is one of the reasons why you really need to have more than one power station scattered over a different area. We'll just take a quick look at this one. Feel free to take me apart on that, guys. I'm sure I've misinterpreted that a little bit wrongly, but that's the way I interpret the circuit breaker on a power station. And I'm aware time is pushing on, so we're just going to take a quick look at my what my construction trains are doing. This guy's doing a grand job pushing out this way. This guy is well on the way in this direction. He's should make that connection. He's pushing out this way, so hopefully he will get out past and make all this connection up. Why do I seem to have you back that way? What happened there? And he's playing into that one there. Oh, this guy's going the wrong way. I want you to cancel that. I don't want you going up there. What I want is you now laying, because there. He needs to fill in that gap, but I think what we'll do is we'll get him going in that direction, lay into here. And I think just to finish up, come back and check out our little village here and see how things are going. Close the depot now. Just take a quick look at the overview again. If everyone 99, no alcohol dependence at the moment. Obviously the people in the hotel like alcohol. They've got a 48% dependence on alcohol. So the alcohol does flow in the hotels. They like it. So that's an interesting stat. We've got that going there. So I think this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. What I'm going to do, because I'm pretty sure the next update is pretty close and we really do need to catch up on all these jobs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play right through until March 1996. All I'm going to do is just let the game build things. So if there's any new trains, I'll leave that to March. So all I really want to do is two things: build up a big supply of cash and let the game catch up a lot with all these outstanding jobs, so that hopefully when the next video goes, we'll be in a position to pull a few more components together. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.